everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new here or you have not already, please consider subscribing to the channel and helping us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It really helps us out a lot. Today we're going to be delving into a new, very short but fun series for the beginning of 2024. If you have been around this channel for a while, you know that typically at the beginning of each month, I do what sold videos on the previous month. We usually take a look at the plush and jean sales off of eBay and our sales on Poshmark and Boxery. And we will still be doing those videos in January. But because this is not just a new month, it's also a new year, I thought I could do a couple of fun videos looking back at 2023 as we go into the new year. So I'm going to be doing our top 10 best and worst plush and jean sales, and I may delve into Boxery and Poshmark specifically. But today we're going to be looking at our 10 best plush sales in 2023. This is one of the reasons I really love using List Perfectly for our business. Anything you put in the List Perfectly catalog stays there indefinitely, permanently, forever, ever. Like, you could cancel your subscription with List Perfectly and come back 3 years later, and any of your listings are still going to be there. It's pretty amazing. And this is how I sort through my solds for these types of videos. I can go into my List Perfectly catalog and I can tell it I want to look for anything that has plush in the title and I want it to have been marked as sold. And then I can look down through the dates here and pick my years. Alternatively, you can sort by date. So I could say descending here and it would sort by date. But I wanted to sort by price. So I have my prices descending so that I can see what sold for the most money or what was listed for the highest prices. And then I can just kind of glance at the dates over here and make sure I'm only grabbing 2023. But if I wanted to sort just by date, I could also. So this is how I pulled out all of the listings from last year. If you're not using List Perfectly, I cannot recommend it enough. It has drastically changed our business in the almost 5 years now that we've been using it. You can try it for 30% off your first month with code FLIPPINHIPPOS. And I have an entire playlist of videos to help you out, get you started, and show you what you can do with List Perfectly. That all said, I do have to also preface this video by saying this is going to be a little bit different than other What Sold videos. You guys are well aware that eBay listings only go back for 3 months. So any of these plush that I sold in 2023 that are older than 3 months ago, I had to look up on Terapeak. And Terapeak can go back the full year and show you the sales or the solds, but they cannot show you the actual original listing. Like, you can see this original listing because this sold, I believe it was November. We can look real quick. We can look at my little Miracles bunny and tell you when he sold. November. But if it was older than that, I had to actually look on Terapeak. And the way I did that, I just copied my actual title and put it into Terapeak so that it was only searching for anything with the exact title of my listing in the last year, and it will show you mine. So you can see that it sold, when it sold, and how much it sold for, but that's all the information you can get. So in those instances, I also pulled the listing up on my List Perfectly catalog so you can look at the pictures and other information. So let's start with the plush. I just pulled like the top 10 best sales of 2023. You're not going to see anything super expensive here. So I don't want anybody coming at me. Oh my gosh, your bolos aren't really bolos. Yeah, they are, but they're realistic bolos. Not everyone is going to find those once in a lifetime $100 plushies all the time. I buy a lot of my plush wholesale. So anything I get over $30 that I paid 50 cents to $1 for, I'm happy with. I consider it a bolo. I consider that a win. I always try to show you guys realistic bolos, things that you're actually going to find, not items that you're going to find one time 30 years from now when you're 65 and you've already retired from reselling, but items that you can consistently go out and find in the wild or get in your wholesale lots if you shop the way that we do. I do find really great once in a lifetime finds once in a while. I do have a Five Nights at Freddy's like $400 Bonnie listed right now. And when it sells, I will definitely share it with you. I've had $100 World of Warcraft specialty plushes and things like that in the past, but those aren't things that you're going to find all the time realistically. And that's what I try to show on this channel. Things that I actually find and sell that you can too. So I got 4 pulled up from Poshmark. We're going to start with this Carter's Just 1 Year Pink Elephant. So I did use the keyword lovey, which you can do in baby plushies. Loveys are more typically the little square security blankets with the plush heads in the middle, but you can use that word for other plush that's intended for babies. Carter's Just 1 Year is a really good brand, and a lot of times you can find these baby plushies for 50 cents, maybe $1. You can get them all the time in wholesale lots. And Pier 1 imports big old turtle. He was originally $25 and I sold mine for $35. So that just goes to show you, you know, that things aren't available anymore or are not being sold at Pier 1 Imports. You can sell for more money because the consumer cannot get them at the store for $25 anymore. And that goes for Walmart plush and stuff as well. I'm a big fan of selling the Walmart holiday plushies after the holidays because they're like one-offs that will never be available again. And you can sell them for way more than what they originally sold for. I also wasn't aware that Pier 1 Imports was that good of a brand, but apparently it is. Most of you are familiar with like IKEA plush, but apparently Pier 1s are good too. And then we have the Walt Disney Company Beauty and the Beast. He sold for the $30. And he actually comped for a lot lower on eBay. And I decided that because he was special and made in Korea, he was going to get a little price hike. There were a lot of Beauty and the Beast plushies on eBay that maybe weren't made in Korea or weren't the Walt Disney Company brand. And they just kind of get lumped in and oversaturated. So when you're comping, be careful. I know I always tell you, don't spend too much time comping to look for the exact item that you have. It's a waste of time. But also be sure that you're looking for at least the brand or the ballpark. Don't list your Beauty and the Beast Walt Disney Company made in Korea plush at the same price as somebody's listing their Mattel or their Hasbro. Next, we have Walt Disney World, Mickey and Minnie Mouse. I sold the two together for $30 with their collector stands. I got these at Goodwill, and I think I paid $3 a piece. I originally comped these around $50, and in the store, when I got home and comped them, they come for lower. You know what? Tell me in the comments, does that ever happen to anybody else that you get a different result when you comp on your phone in the store than when you come home and comp on your actual computer? Happens to me a lot. I know I can't be the only one. Let me know. All right, so those are the 4 out of 10 top plush sales that were actually on Poshmark last year. I don't have any from Macari. We sell a lot of plush on Macari. Hand over fist, especially in Q4, we sold a ton of plush on Macari. But our top 10, none of them were on Macari and 4 were on Poshmark. So don't overlook Poshmark plush sellers. List your plush there too. Next, we have an Adventure Planet Red Panda. He's a jumbo 34-inch plush. I got him at Salvation Army. I believe I paid $5 for him. I was so excited when I found him because I knew what I had found. Adventure Planet is not that great of a brand, but he was a jumbo realistic plush, which puts 2 stars in his corner. He sold for $49.91 plus 13 shipping. And here he is pulled up in List Perfectly so you can see his photos that I took of him. What I like to do with the really, really big plush, I do take an overview shot of them lying next to the measuring tape like this. And then I take another close-up shot just of like the back of the body and the end of the measurement so they can see it up close. I don't include the weight in the actual listing on eBay. I usually put the weight and the location in my photos in my List Perfectly catalog. so that I have that information as we're building the listing, but it gets deleted. It doesn't actually go on our platforms. It's just there for us. Next, we have the Little Miracles Snuggle Me Too Comfy Rabbit Lovey Blanket. So this is a huge lovey. Most of you guys are familiar with the 12 by 12 little tiny squares. Loveys come in all sizes, guys, and this one was ginormous and so cute. So I did not put a close-up of this one, but it is, you can see there, 45 inches across, 30 inches tall. Little Miracles is a really good brand when it comes to loveys and baby plushies. And this one's really cute because of the way it rolls up. And then it has the hook and loop fasteners. Velcro. It rolls into like a stuffed bunny. I love this plushie. I was so excited when I got it. Next, I have a vintage Disney store, Winnie the Pooh. It's a musical wind-up plush. It moves. It has a pillow. It's super cute. Sold for $38 with free shipping. So this sold prior to August when we had switched to charging shipping. And here's my listing on List Perfectly. You can see I have the location here. He was in bin 12. There's his other friends. And he was 14 inches. I did take a close-up of his pillow. He's really cute. And so he sold for the $38 free shipping. Blue is a wind-up musical plush that also moves. So I do like to put that in the description. Since this is a teaching channel, we'll take a second to talk about that. If a plush moves or talks, you can include videos in your listings. At one time, eBay didn't allow that, but they are allowing that again. So if you have a plush that dances or sings or moves in any type of way, you can take a video and put it in the listing. I wouldn't recommend doing it for anything under like $15 because it's really not worth your time. But you can if you want, because who am I to tell you what to do with your time, right? If it glows in the dark or anything like that, I'll usually turn out the lights and take a picture of it doing its thing, and then put that in the listing as well so they can see it lit up. And then I also like to include what it does. Does it dance? Does it talk? Does it sing? What song does it sing? What song does it play? Things like that. Next, we have a vintage Wells Blue Bunny ice cream rabbit. Now, this guy wasn't very big at all. He was like 7 inches, and he's a little beanbag, like a Beanie Baby, really. But he's got a Blue Bunny tag, and he's very vintage, and so he was worth money. And he sold for $34.16 plus $6 shipping. So look for these vintage plush, especially if they're from brands or food items. Those usually do well. Coca-Cola being the exception. Some of those are real poop. A vintage FAO Shorts Patrick the Pup. Now with Patrick, I had to be careful because mine was a little bit bigger than most. Mine was 15, 16 inches, very ginormous around, just a big plush. And they had some small Patricks that were listed for a lot less money. So again, don't waste your time trying to find the exact item that you're listing, but make sure you're in the ballpark. If you have a jumbo plush, make sure you're looking at the jumbo plush when you're comping. I wouldn't have wanted to list my Patrick for $7 or $10 or $12 or whatever the tiny ones are going for because mine's very big. FAO Shorts is a good brand to look for, by the way. I can't believe something from 2011 is vintage, but it sure enough is because 20 years count. And this was distributed for Toys R Us. So he sold for $32.41 plus $18 shipping. Next, I have a vintage 1994 Fisher-Price Cozy. He's a thermal waffle weave teddy bear. He sold for $34.99 in March. So we had free shipping on him because we did not change our business model until August of last year. And here is my List Perfectly listing so you can see him up close. This is what a thermal waffle weave looks like. You see, he's almost like a terry cloth towel. Here's his tag. It's faded, but you can see the thermal waffle weave up close here. And even though his tush tag was faded and disclosed, you know, he still sold for a good bit for what he was worth. And here's another example of my pictures. He's in bin 11, but that doesn't go into the final listing. So those are the top 10, but I pulled out some mentions. These are well worth mentioning to you guys. These were the next top 4 under the top 10. Thai Cobbler Orange Tabby Cat. So a lot of folks know that Beanie Babies are poop, but not all Thai beanies are created equally. The Thai classics are really good to find. The Thai Beanie Boos can be good. Most are bread and butter or higher end bread and butter even. But there's some exclusive ones and certain animals that are worth a lot of money. So make sure that you're looking these up and familiarizing yourself. And don't just look at a Beanie Boo and go, oh, that's a Beanie Boo. I don't want it. It's not worth money. Because there's some out there like Frost. I think he's a Husky or an Arctic Wolf. That's like $100 to $200. So the Beanie Boos, the Thai classics, the Attic treasures, those are all good. And most of these orange cats, you guys, I'm not kidding, are just really worth something. This is Thai silk, but a lot of these orange tabby cats, these larger Thais, are worth $20-$30. I listed this one to start at $30. Vintage Care Bears. Those are always worth picking up if you find them. Of special mention, the 2 baby ones. There's a pink one and a blue one, and they were wearing little diapers. Those are worth a lot of money. But any of the vintage Care Bears can go for a lot. This guy started his life at like $35. That's what he looks like. Another vintage plush from an old Looney Tunes cartoon, the 3 Bears. This one was like $35. He looks like Boo Boo from Yogi Bear, but that's not who he is. So don't overlook the vintage, especially. Some vintage is disappointing and can be poop, but some and most are really good. And even when they comp low, I find that vintage plush sells more quickly than non-vintage. Even if it only sells for $12, it's going to sell faster because nostalgia and memories sell. And any vintage seller will tell you that. Even folks who just sell vintage clothing, they're selling nostalgia. They're selling memories. And when you have a vintage plush from the 80s, even if it's only a $12 one, there's some millennial somewhere that wants to remember the, you know, Lady and the Tramp plush their mother gave him in Christmas 1982. And they're looking for it and they're going to buy it. All right, this is a Lovey. The brand was new to me this year, so it's something I'll be looking for in the future. It's Bunnies by the Bay. Bunnies by the Bay. So look for Loveys by Bunnies by the Bay. This is a cute little fox. And I started him at 35, 37. So keep your eyes out for all Loveys. Not all Loveys are created equally, though. There are some that are very low in bread and butter and some that will go for a lot of money. So those were our top plush sales from 2023. Realistic bolos that you guys can go out and find for yourselves in the wild or discover and be excited about when they come to you in a wholesale lot. I have a video on where to buy plush wholesale and how to shop wholesale. I'll have that pop up at the end for you in case you haven't seen it yet. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about anything you saw in this video, reselling plush or reselling in general, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. Go be productive, guys. Go make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.